So March 1st, 1692, Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and Tituba are arrested and charged with witchcraft in Salem, Massachusetts. This is, of course, the start of the Salem witch trials. Why is that relevant? Because many years later, hundreds of years later, we got the Christine O'Donnell "I'm Not a Witch" ad. So even though 328 years have gone by since these arrests, people still feel the need to explain that they're not witches. So just a little bit of backstory about Christine. She was a Republican candidate for Joe Biden's vacated Senate seat out of Delaware, and she was eventually crushed in the election by some guy named Chris Coons, 57% to 40%. And during her campaign, Bill Maher ran a clip of her from his old show Politically Incorrect where she was talking about dabbling in witchcraft. Thus the need for this glorious ad.
I'm not a witch. I'm nothing you've heard.
A little analysis here. It's one of those amazing advertising things when the very first thing someone says is, "I'm not a witch." You should never have to explain that you're not a witch to adults. To people of voting age, you should never have to say, "Actually, I'm not a witch." That's like saying, "I'm not a robot. I'm not, in fact, the creature from the Black Lagoon. I'm not an ogre. Vote for me." It's inherently absurd. Now, I know that there are people who are considered witches or call themselves witches, but they don't practice legitimate black magic that will turn you into a newt or something like that. Magic, unfortunately, isn't real, kids.
I'm you. None of us are perfect, but none of us can be happy with what we see all around us.
But they tried to spin it with this whole "I'm you" thing. It's really vague. It's a platitude. With advertising, you want to at least have something specific to kind of latch onto. And that, if you do a pizza, you don't want to say, "Our pizza's really good." Well, okay, like what about it? So Papa John's says we have better ingredients, we have fresher ingredients, so our pizza is better. That's something. Pizza Hut has, we come up with the freshest, coolest ideas. That's something. Just to say, "I'm you," I don't think a lot of people are going to really pick up on that. I don't think it's going to register.
Politicians who think spending, trading favors, and backroom deals are the ways to stay in office.
She seems nice, but she also seems like she's just somebody who's making this up as she goes along.
I'll go to Washington and do what you'd do.
She doesn't know what I would do when I go to Washington. That's such an odd thing to say in this ad. It's one of the craziest parts. I mean, there's the obvious "I'm not a witch" opening, but the "I'd go to Washington and do what you do." Again, it's this whole "I'm you" thing. You're not me, okay? Maybe we have things in common, maybe we don't. Even if we do, you're not me. So it's sort of doubly odd to say, "I'm not a witch, I'm you," which is actually something I would expect a witch to say.
I'm Christine O'Donnell, and I approve this message.
They always do. So I'm glad we didn't arrest Christine O'Donnell and charge her with witchcraft. But I think I'm kind of glad, based on the advertising, that she wasn't elected to the United States Senate. So while this ad has been lampooned quite a bit, most famously with Saturday Night Live and Kristen Wiig, it kind of deserved it. It's just very strange to say, "I'm not a witch." Even if the rumors are out there, even if people are talking about it, I think the best plan of action in something like this is to not actually give them any credence and say, "I'm not a witch." If a political opponent accuses you of being a robot, you can just safely go right past that one. You're not a robot, obviously. It's an absurd thing to say, and it's even more absurd to defend yourself from that. Okay, so thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you later. Don't cast any spells.
I'm Christine O'Donnell, and I'm not a witch. I'm nothing like you've heard. I'm you. And just like you, I have to constantly deny that I'm a witch.